Hi, my name's JD. I'm the owner and the producer and the engineer and the literally everything lah. You know, the office boy, the security guard for my own studio. I'm have now conducted and organized a music production workshop called the Direct Access 1.0. All right, why 1.0? Because there's also a 2.0 level as well, you know, and a slightly more advanced level catered for other subjects and other topics lah, but still related to music production. This workshop that I'm doing, it's already the first batch is already has already enrolled, has already started. So the unique thing about this, I would say the difference about this music workshops, instead of a workshop where you just attend and you just, you know, watch demonstrations or you listen to a lecturer, you know, talking to you, you're just looking at slides and looking at lessons. This one, it's a very hands-on and very practical workshop which I'm doing. So what I've done is actually I ran a kind of a little mini competition, a band search, so which I ran it for a couple of months. I was looking for number one. I searched for an independent band that's unsigned, so they must not be signed. They should not be released under any record label, whether major or indie. So it has to be an unsigned band with an original song, and not only must it be an original song, the song has to be a good song. It's got to be a great kick-ass song, okay? Right? Because there's one thing about production, you know, one thing about music in general is that doesn't matter how good your tools are, doesn't matter how impressive your equipment, your mics, or your mixing skills or production techniques are. If the song sucks, the song sucks, right? It doesn't matter how fantastic, super high quality resolution, ultra high resolution equipment you use. You know, if the song sucks, if the song doesn't connect with the listener, with the audience, if it's not catchy, it's not hooky, you know, it's not going to work. So that's what I did. All right. So a band, original song with a great song, and a real band, okay, right, that can actually play their instruments. Okay, I'm not going to be playing any of the instruments for them, or programming or sequencing drums or that kind of nonsense. Okay, right. So what I did is this band, I'm going to take their song, which is in a demo form, and actually take it into this classroom and demonstrate how the production process goes, how the production and recording process starts from the beginning, right from the demo, right to recording. We've done drums, and we're midway now. We're doing drums and bass already, and moving on to the rest of the instruments, guitars, vocals, keyboards, and finally we'll be showing the students how I mix. So it's a live demonstration of everything. So during the recording sessions, they get to experience, they get to see exactly how the process is, how the the interaction between myself as a producer, you know, with the musician. They'll get to see sometimes, you know, they've got to see like on the fly. It's like right there and then the real life scenarios. Sometimes decisions have to be made on the spot. You know, okay, change this, change that. You know, try this, that. Try a different idea, you know. So it's actually a real life experience of seeing how it's being done lah. So once all that is finished, there's also some theoretical classes as well. You know, I cover topics such as digital audio, you know, properties of sound, you know, introduction to talking about musical hardware, talking about EQs, how to use an EQ, how to use a compressor, how to use effects, you know, some post-production things as well. So that's also being demonstrated on the computer, on the DAW, all right? Something I demonstrate and show them. live as well. And once everything is finished, the students get to take back the multi-tracks of what we recorded. They get to mix it, and the best mix, gets a prize. We are very fortunate and thankful that we're being supported by Bear Dynamic and SMX. So not only are they sponsoring a prize, but they are offering for the students. They get like a special bundle, right? So they can bundle with a lot of stuff, either headphones, microphones, even monitor speakers, or even a whole audio interface, and in fact all this, they get it at a very, very, very special price if they sign up through me, through this workshop. And so basically that's it. Originally what I intended to, right, is that should be geared towards somewhat someone who's like who's intermediate to advanced onwards. But having said that, right, most of the people who actually signed up are actually pretty much beginners. A lot of them are beginners, and that's fine. Actually, the class, the topics are actually suitable and tailored enough for beginners as well. That's why I also have a more advanced level syllabus and courses which I have actually developed. So it's fine if you are a beginner, but for someone who has got absolutely zero knowledge on audio, on music production, okay, that would be a little bit hard, because you would kind of struggle, right? So it's not for someone who's totally new. It's someone who's like beginning, who's getting into music production, a little bit of home recording, and doing stuff on their own, DIY at home, but they want to see and want to experience and will learn how it's done, at a professional level. You could say so. This would be this is like, I call it the Direct Access 1.0, because it is like kind of the foundational level. I want to take it to the next level. Would be the next level. I want to sort of take this outside from my studio, right, and I want to take this to other places. So for example, we could be doing this workshop outstation, maybe in somewhere. I got friends in KK, in Penang, so we could go over there and and do like a weekend session or something like that. I also want and related to that as well, I also want to take this direct access workshop to there are a lot of newer studios, and especially studios which generally, what I want to look for, there are a lot of newer studios who generally are jamming studios, right? They're primary jamming studios, but sometimes they will offer some recording services and basic recording services. And what I want to do is that I want to reach out and take this workshop to these guys, to the people who are in jamming studios, and they want to improve their recordings. They want to improve what they can do and what they can offer to their clients. Because sadly to say, unfortunately, yes, sometimes it's good that some of these jamming studios offer something that's affordable, that's affordable option, but unfortunately sometimes the quality of work is it's really not up to par. It's basically it's really terrible sometimes, and I feel bad, for two reasons. I feel bad for, well, number one, of course, I feel bad that the studio, that they feel that they can't deliver the value to their client, to the client, to the bands who jam and then record at the studio, right? And secondly, I also feel bad because a lot of times, some of these bands, they they record at these studios and send it to me to mix. And it's like, that's where the whole impetus for me for doing this lah. Then they send it to me and it's like, oh man, so much things need to be fixed and repaired, and sometimes things need to be redone, that in the end the cost is like almost the same as it ends up costing the same as doing it here. As doing it here, but the quality doesn't turn out as good lah. It costs them the same amount. It costs them more time, costs them almost the same amount of money, but doesn't turn out as good, right? But so I want to improve. Like I said, I want to lift everybody up. If we can get better quality recordings and better quality sounding work coming out from the smaller jamming studios, it's all the better. If they can deliver better quality, they can start to raise their rates. They can start to raise their rates. They can earn more money. They can, bring in a little bit more income, a little bit of revenue for their studio, for their business. And I know how important it is for a jamming studio, because the overheads for a jamming studio is pretty high. Their maintenance is a lot higher than what I expect. Their maintenance, their overhead, their repairs, and all that lah. Yeah. So basically that I would consider Direct Access 2.0. All right. Okay. 2.0 is kind of like that. All right. So it is a little sneak preview of what 2.0 is gonna be about. All right. So basically, I want to reach out to studios who want to jamming studio owners who may want to train their staff. So they want to train their staff. They want to train whoever the people are who are there to engineer the recordings, right? Who want to train their staff, but they don't want to send them for a course, or even worse, ask the staff to just learn on YouTube. You can't really learn this audio engineering on YouTube. It's something you have to learn. It's an apprentice. We call it an apprentice craft. It's something that you have to learn from someone. You need to have a mentor, and you need an instructor to learn this. So basically gonna go out there, all right, and same thing. I want to make it as a real life scenario thing. So we go into their jamming studio, look at what equipment they have, what microphones they have, and basically do some little bit of consultation. It's training / consultation as well. Look into issues like, for example, okay, let's listen. Maybe your drum recordings, you're not so happy. Let's look into why. Very often not very often actually, all the time when you talk about recording, the important thing is the source. Let's look into your drum kit, right? Maybe your drum kit, okay, may not be a high-end recording drum kit, but it's just a matter of just tuning. Maybe the skins are super dead, maybe they're not using good sounding cymbals. Maybe the kit is not being tuned properly, right? So I'll start with that, tuning. I'll start with, and then look at what equipment they have, So sometimes people they complain and say, oh, my mics are like, I used a very cheap drum set microphone, drum kit lah. Sometimes they have those microphone kits. I just use very cheap one, so I cannot get a very good sound. I think that's not necessarily the truth. You can get pretty good and decent sounds if you apply some proper techniques, right microphone placement, proper things like gain staging, and like I said, getting the sound source right. If it sounds right, the microphone, is gonna pick it up. So same thing, go there, look into their equipment, look at the gear, look at the practices, just show them like, how I would do it if I were in the studio with their equipment, and show them what's possible, what's the potential. And of course, sometimes if there are problems or when there are issues, maybe sometimes you can suggest, solutions, I would offer maybe some solutions, maybe some solutions will involve equipment upgrades and all that. Maybe there's sometimes there are some things which just can't be solved by just by tuning alone. Sometimes maybe the equipment is the bottleneck, maybe, right? So I just want to take it to that next level then.
Okay, so
I would definitely encourage if they want to pursue, I definitely encourage, I'm sure everyone who learns this, would love to make this their career, would love to be making a living and earning some income from doing something that I love, doing something that I love. So, if I can, if we can empower them, if we can empower them, if we can encourage them to do it, by all means, by all means, I think the more I'm sure there's demand for it, as as people get more and more into, because everyone will always have dreams. People would dream of being the next, the next star, the next singer, the next band or whatever. All right, okay, right, so there will be a demand for people who can cater for, who can cater to this up and coming segment. It's not necessarily always dealing with you're only dealing with established artists. I don't just always deal with established artists. It's still a large proportion of what I do is still with independent artists, and I prefer it that way. Prefer working with independents because it's a lot more exciting. The music is a lot more exciting, than doing stuff for mainstream. So the more people who are there to the more good work gets going around, the better. That's what I think. Well, obviously, I think we all have to recognize the fact that the traditional business model of the music industry has already gone. It's been gone since the early 2000s, and you could say the late 90s. How the music business has evolved, how from sales, physical sales, now it's almost entirely not entirely, it's almost largely digital. It's already gone to digital now. So same thing goes with being someone who's a producer, or who's being someone who's want to run and own and operate a studio. The traditional business models are gone. You can't just open a place and advertise and expect people to come in. So nowadays the demand, I wouldn't say for whether it's for better or for worse, right? Unfortunately nowadays, if you're new, if you're someone who's coming up, who just graduated from audio school or music school or something, or you want to set up a studio or something like that, you kind of need to be a person who can do everything nowadays. It used to be in the past where you can specialize in a certain thing. You can just specialize as a mixer, or you can just specialize as an arranger. You can't really do that now. If you really want to sort of survive, you want to sort of secure yourself, you secure your position in the industry, you need to be able to, not only that, you need to be able to produce, record, mix, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to know how to market, sometimes you even need to know how to, do your own videos, right? Make videos and all that. So you need your sort of the skill sets that you need to have, at the tip of your fingers now, has grown a lot. You can't just like specialize and just do one thing anymore. So that's one, right? Your skill sets that you need to have, right? So go sign up for production courses, okay? or apply for internships at a studio or something like that, okay? Right, okay? So I can have more labor. Okay, more labor. Okay, right, that's right. So that's one thing, right? Skill sets, and then number two, I think we also need to think out of the box. I know it's an often used cliche. All right, so well, if you are just trying to, sort of, if you're starting out and then you're hoping to, like say nail a job, or secure a job, for a major label artist, that's going to be hard, because first of all, there's going to be so many people, and you're going to be competing against those who are already well established, and people from companies, corporations, and labels. They usually are very unlikely to go with new people. They're always 99.9%. They always take the safe route and go with the people they already work with, they're already comfortable with, right? Most of the time they're going to go with that. So you're not going to be, if you're someone new, you're very unlikely to be going to be breaking into that, So, right. Oddly enough, I'll sidetrack a little bit. The same company, the labels who complain about, we want to look for new people and all that, don't want to go for new people, they always go for the same old people because they're afraid to take risks, But yet they complain and say that, we're using the same old people. Do you know any new songwriters, new arrangers and sort of that? So, yeah, that's a little bit of a sidetrack, right? But I wanted to make that point clear, okay? Yep. So, anyway, I think it's important, if you're new and if you're coming up, you have to try and you need to identify the segment of a market, and identify where you can have where the demand might be, where the demand might come from. If it's not an established artist, try and look around. Nowadays, we have with the rise of internet, social media platforms, and especially all the Instagram, and we used to have Snapchat and all those kind of stuff. You hear there are a lot of actually people who actually showcase their talent. Who have good voices, who have great singers. So maybe they wanna, some of them might potentially, wanna have a shot at a career in music. You could reach out to these these talents. You could reach out to these people and offer to write for them. Write songs for these people. I think that's what you do, right? With your songwriting for your Sajakiri vocal. So you are unearthing untapped fresh talents. And giving them an opportunity. So people who you should everyone should look beyond that. And if you are if you're someone who likes to work with bands, you want to record with bands, go out and network. In fact, if you're someone who wants to work and record the bands, I would definitely suggest networking would be the best thing that you can do, best investment of your time. Go to gigs, go to gigs. Go to gigs, especially not necessarily those with the big names, right? Not necessarily with those that are big names, because it's kind of no point. You don't want to, you don't want, because they probably already have people that they work with. Go to the underground gigs, network with the bands, look and attend the gigs, and then if you see any bands that go around with your name card, and obviously have your social media, all your information there, your website if you have a website, or you have a Facebook page or something like that you can direct people to. Go out and identify, meet these bands, spread your name around, say hi, say like your music, or if you spot a new band that's maybe an opening act, but you like your songs, you like their performance, go up to them, and why not just offer them to do a song for them for free, just to get your portfolio going. So so number one, yes, to sort of recap your skill sets, right? You need to widen your skill sets nowadays. Number two, you need to tap into new untapped markets, right? Don't just look at the traditional, artists and bands and all that. Go for people who may not even think, they have a musical career, have talents, but who are not necessarily looking for a musical career. And three, networking. These three things would be my advice. I've been there are a couple of channels which I'm really into of late, right? I used to go to, if we talk about YouTube channels too, that there are a couple there are actually four, right, that I would like to check out, right? So it was related to, music production, recording, mixing, and all that, all right? Three of them. One would be Pure Mix, all right? They're called puremix.net. Puremix.net is it's run by a Fab Dupont, right? So he's a French guy, but you can sign up for free, but there's also a subscription. There's also a subscription membership on their websites as well. Now, Puremix is very detailed. They're very technical. If you want to get into very technical stuff, that's what I found. They're very good. So they're not necessarily gonna be. There's some stuff for beginners, but some of the stuff and the topics which I really like, are really advanced. They go into more advanced areas of dealing with compression and stuff like that. So that's good. Another one which is really good, like an overall good website and a good channel to check out, would be proaudiofiles.com. Yeah. So that's kind of an overall thing, all right? But the one that I really enjoy watching and following now recently of late would be Produce Like a Pro, Warren Hewart, right? So these are definitely some channels which you should check out, because not only does he cover recording, mixing, he does a lot of interviews. He does a lot of studio tours, so he interviews a lot of big, very well established producers, mixing engineers. He visits and does a lot of studio tours, in some really big studios. So these are the three which I would like to get into. The fourth one, all right, it's not strictly speaking about music, but another fantastic channel. He's not strictly talking about production, recording, and mixing, but he's more of a music education in general. He talks about that. He also talks about music theory. He talks about things like film scoring, music business, and stuff like that. Would be Rick Beato, Rickbeato. Fantastic channel. He not only that, he became famous. His channel grew viral because of his son. His son has perfect pitch, so his channel became viral after he you just do a search. I think Rickbeato. The video is like something like the best ears in the world, or something like that. So it's him sort of testing his son Dylan, right? He's on the piano, then he plays notes, really random notes and chords, and his son can just identify it out there, pop, immediately without any delay, and not just any simple, not just notes, even chords, C sharp diminished flat 5, boom, and his kid's like 8-9 years old during the time of the video, right? Or could be even younger, So he blew up, and he became viral from that, But after that, people look into his channel. He's got a lot of stuff, a lot of information. Someone you should check out as well.